Hello there everyone, it's me Ben, back with another video, and today is something a little bit different, start of a new series, hopefully if all goes according to plan, a series where I talk about customizing tips. I've always wanted to do something that's like customizing tutorials, but I've never done it because I really don't want to enforce how I customize on other people, but I've been thinking about it recently, and I've decided I'm going to do a couple of short videos just on some quick tips for harder things in customizing, mostly stuff that I would have liked to know when I was early customizing, or even now. I've been doing this since, I guess 8 years now. It's been on and off, and I definitely haven't gotten that great until the last couple of years, and so basically what I'm saying is I'm not an expert. I've been doing it for a while, but I'm not an expert. But this is just, in all those years, this is something I didn't get around to till very recently because I was scared. But honestly, it's pretty easy. So I wanted to make a quick video going over some tips on how you can make your own custom Lego hair pieces using sculpting. And so yeah, we're gonna just get right into it. So first of all, sorry if that was kind of loud. Sorry if I'm a little snotty, I don't know what's up with that. But first of all, you're going to need a hair to start sculpting on. So right here I have the grandma hair, or whatever you want to call it, the bun, the sumo hair. Now, a lot of people start sculpting right away. They sculpt right onto the head, or they use the foil trick. And I just want to say that I highly recommend not doing that. Even though you may see it as a waste of hair pieces, it is so much better to use a hair piece that Lego has already made, even if the end result looks nothing like it. So I have a bunch of ones over here that are all some figures that I have made, some of my favorite hair pieces I've made that I'm going to show off. I should have done this earlier, actually. This is Robotnik from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Let's see, Carol Danvers from Avengers Endgame. The 10th Doctor from Doctor Who. Let's see here, Black Cat from Marvel. And then Toon Link from Super Smash Bros. And Legend of Zelda. And Dr. Mario as well from my Super Smash Bros. Series. These are all some of my favorite hair pieces, and every single one of them I started out with a base Lego hair piece. I have used the foil trick before that people have talked about, where you wrap the head in foil and then sculpt on it, but it really makes it so loose that it's just really hard to work with, and sculpting right onto a head is never going to work. It almost never works. So I would always recommend using a real hair piece. Then the other stuff you need is, I usually have a lot of random Lego that I put the stuff I'm going to paint or sculpt on. So this is a base plate that I've had for years that I've been customizing with, and I have a whole bucket here of bricks that I put my pieces on to paint. I will maybe be going into painting another time. I don't know if that's something I really want to go into. I usually use a head and a torso and then just random bricks. I usually don't use this many bricks. I usually just use one. But the thing is, I am actually sculpting today in a different spot. I usually do this at my dining room table. And just so this looks a little better, and so I'm not in the middle of my whole family. I'm in my room, so you don't need to make it this high. This is just because I had to lean over a lot for this, for where I am sitting right now. Next up, you're definitely gonna need some clay. I use GreenStuff. I think GreenStuff is the best that you can find out there. It's really nice. Whenever you're done, it feels just like Lego. It's so easy to sculpt, and also it takes just long enough to dry to where it's not annoying, but also long enough to where you can go back and correct it and leave it for a while if you're not happy with it at the moment. Which that's another thing I would say. If you're ever making a hairpiece and you don't like how it looks, you can just leave it for a while and eventually just come back. That's what I usually do. To go with your clay, also I wanted to talk about other clays. I definitely would not recommend using air dry clay or oven clay. Both of them can, air dry clay, believe it or not, but I have just a small sample right here, and this can actually be poisonous to Lego. It can break and crack them, and also it's just really annoying to work with. So I try to never use that unless it's a really big project. Same thing with oven clay. It can be dangerous to Lego, and also they're harder to work with, and it's more annoying to get them ready, especially with oven clay, because then you have to put the hairpiece in the oven with the clay on it, which is kind of impossible. It's always going to melt. I think Jude just said something, I don't know. Third thing you need, or fourth, I don't know, is water. I've got a cup of water right here. Not to drink, but I am going to drink it. Water, believe it or not, it is actually really good to use with clay to keep it smooth. I use this a lot of times on hair pieces. I think I almost always, whenever I have a hair piece, put water on my fingers. I dip my fingers in the water to make it very smooth, have it the same plastic effect as Lego. I also have a sander here. You don't always need to use this, but a lot of times I use Mutt Williams hair pieces a lot, and usually I have to do some sanding and cutting on those, so I do usually have a handy sander on hand. And then, of course, you're going to need reference pictures. That is, if you are making this based off a character. I am making Toph Beifong from Avatar today. You can use this directly if you want to make Toph, but this is more just general ideas. So, yeah, I'm just going to hop right into it. So, there's different parts of the hair. Here, let me grab a figure here. I just use that one as an example. When it comes to the hair, I really separate it into two parts. There's the base part, which would be this part in the back here. It's more plasticky. And then there are individual hairs. Usually, I have more than just this. He really only has one right here. So I usually start out by making the base and then the original hairs. For Toph here, I'm not actually going to need to worry about that because I am going to need to make a base in the back for her giant hair poof in the back there. But whenever you're doing this for any other characters, I also use that on Captain Marvel. Usually sculpt this part and then sculpt all the other little hairs onto it. So yeah, I'm going to hop in the time lapse, hopefully put some cool music in there, and just start sculpting. Okay, so I just finished the main bulb here. So this is sort of my flat part. And from there I'm going to add some of the indented details. If you look at a Lego hairpiece, usually it has a roundness and then it has many indented lines. So I usually take different materials. So right here, this is just a little stick that I got at Hobby Lobby. I also use toothpicks. I don't really have a preference. These just sometimes are easier because I can do it from like farther away, I guess. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some sort of hairlines, and yeah. Okay, I finished up the bun. I added all of the lines here, so I really usually add a lot more, and usually you need to make them facing in the direction of where the hair is going down. I'm just using the same two examples over and over just because they're the ones closest to me. But I only added a couple here to give it more of an animated look. But so the next up thing is going to be doing the more individual hairs. Looking at my looking at my reference here, she has a lot of individual hairs coming over her face. Usually I use a head and put this where the eyes would be, so that, or put it over where some eyes would be, so that way I know kind of where to have some eyes. But since Toph is blind, it doesn't really matter if she's gonna have hair in her eyes. Yeah, I'm just gonna start making the individual hairs. For this part, you're mostly just going to want to roll out little pieces of clay and just follow your reference. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the hair. Usually I would stop after here because I made the base back here and then the lines and then the extra hairs. But for Toph, I do have some extra sculpting to do for her headband. So usually I would stop here, but I'm going to keep doing it, and I will continue to show the process. And that is it for how to sculpt the hair. The hair is all done. I think this looks really nice. I think it's going to look really sweet whenever I paint it up. I'm probably not going to get that done before this video comes out. If it does, I'll put a picture there, but I probably didn't, so I wouldn't count on that. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more reviews, tell me so in the comments. If you have anything that you need help with, I plan on doing some on trench coats. I don't know, Twix is going crazy. Just some other random stuff that, so if there's anything that you specifically need help with, tell me, and I will consider doing a video on it. Thanks. Avatar custom review coming soon. I've got some really cool stuff that's being done for that video. It's going to be pretty awesome. And thanks for watching. See you later. Goodbye.